I've been waiting for a microphone all day.
Anna didn't want to come and do this panel.
I got my schedule confused. I'm not great at critical reading. I thought it was tomorrow. I wanted very much to be here. I just didn't know.
We're glad you're here.
Are you guys glad? Are you guys glad that she decided to?
That's what happens when you try to leave and then you come back, you get applause.
I was always gonna be here.
Hey, it's reminded.
A seminal moment is something that it puts fear into me.
Fear, memorable, whatever it might be.
I'm not a coward. I'm not afraid. Nothing scares me.
I'm afraid of all of it. There's in the fourth movie, a guy gets some hydraulic something blasts him through a chain link fence.
Oh yeah.
He gets like squeezed through a chain link fence. That one really haunts me.
That's good. The gymnasts flip off it with just like the scorpion kind of land. That's brutal. Really brutal. Yeah, but there's so many seminal moments of just sort of moments that made me stop and applaud and laugh with it. Because I think we're all rooting for death in the movie. As much as you might like any of our characters, you're rooting for death to get all of us in a brutal way.
Well, you really have the two opposite ends of the spectrum here, because for me, I was like only sort of vaguely aware. I wasn't a big horror movie person growing up. Like, I think the first horror movie I saw was The Eye. Is that what it's called, with Jessica Alba?
Oh yeah!
Yeah. Yeah, let's hear for The Eye! Yeah! Woo! Cornea transplant horror. So I wasn't super familiar with it, but my boyfriend, when I auditioned for it, already changed my name in his phone.
Oh yes.
I auditioned for it and he was like, Anna, Final Destination, instantly. So he was more excited than I was, but after I got the part, obviously I watched the movies, and that was kind of when my excitement started to grow. Because the other thing is, when you are shooting a movie, you don't really know if it's gonna be good. You know what I mean? You have a sense, you're like, what we're doing is good, but it's not until you see the final product. And when I saw the first time they invited us to a screening of it, I was like, this is a great movie. Yeah.
And I grew up watching the movies. I think I was probably 12 when I saw the first one, which was probably like a year or two after it came out. And then watched the second one in the same night. And then I watched 3, 4, 5 all in theaters, and I've seen all of them multiple times. So I remember when I auditioned for it, I was like, I'm the guy for this. And I never heard back. And that was when, because you all signed on like prior to the actors strike.
They had reached out to book me, but they didn't book me. And so I waited the whole strike, and this had happened to me during COVID with a part where I was supposed to test for a pilot, and then I went the whole COVID pandemic, and then they went a different direction. So I was fully expecting, like, when the strike's over,
it's not gonna
they're
happen.
gonna call me and cancel, and like it's not gonna. So when it actually did happen, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, that's incredible.
They like remembered me for 10 months and still wanted to hire me. Yeah, that was awesome.
I have no idea who they had for me, if they did have someone or anything. I never heard back from them about it, and I was like, that's bullshit. Because I'm the right guy for this, and I know I am. And then...
I like that confidence. I think every part I've always been like, you could do better. Yeah. There's probably someone better. I get it.
I remember they're like, well, they never really got back to us on it. And I said, enjoy having a shitty movie. and then however many months later, they're like, can he audition for this role? And I said, you mean the one I already did audition for so long ago? And I was like, I was in my field, I was hurt. I was like, fuck off. I'm not going to audition for it. And my agents were like, Richard, audition for it. I was like, just send them the same tape I did before. And then I did it, hungover in New York, in a friend's apartment. I did the tape, and I remember I didn't do a single thing different than what I did 10 months prior.
You were like, you are gonna get Richard Harmon, and you're gonna like
I was like, I still think that this is what I would like to do with the character.
Great.
And then 2 days later, I had a test with Zach and Adam, our directors. And then a week later, they're like, you're up for it, and it's between you and 2 other guys. And at that point, I was like, please, 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 please.
I wanted so
Please.
bad.
And then they told me I got it, and I cried my eyes out because I was like, you have no idea how important this is.
You know, it's funny, whenever I book a job, I guess I'm really rude feeling. Like, whenever I book a job, I'm always like, they could get rid of you at any time. Because it happens, you know?
Yeah.
And it wasn't until that they had scanned my head, and they were making the copies of my head. And I was like, well, that would be very expensive to replace me.
It's true.
Now they have to give me, they have like 40 of my heads.
It was 2 weeks into filming that I was like, I think we're okay.
We actually talked about it as a cast.
Yeah.
There's one time we were hanging out in the trailer doing, because they gave us improv rehearsals, and for actors, rehearsals are great, but it's also terrifying because you're like,
What if they don't like it?
what if they hate what I'm doing in the rehearsal? And so all of us, the whole cast was sitting in a trailer. I remember Owen was sitting in the sink, and we were all like, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get fired. And everyone's like, yeah, me too, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get fired, so.
Well, we're here, and we did make the final cut.
Yeah, you were not fired.
Big win. Big. Certainly the most expensive.
Just totally gagged, like just the penny kid, people were cheering.
Oh yeah, cheering for a child.
Cheering for a child to die, yeah, like.
Special.
And it just kept coming, like, you know, I remember there's a part where they're cracking creme brulee. There's like, they keep cutting back to like a creme brulee being cracked, and it's like, it's just such a beautiful like, foreshadowing of the glass cracking, and I just was so stunned by the whole opening. And I'm sure, maybe you know this, but one of my favorite facts about that opening is we have the oldest ever stunt woman lit on fire. So yeah, there's a woman, I think she's maybe in her 70s?
I think she's late 60s.
She's a Vancouver legend, I believe.
She is, she
Yeah.
absolutely is.
And she was like, light me up. And they tried to get Guinness Book of World Records. I don't know if we got it, but they tried to get a Guinness World Record for her.
Yeah, fair.
The
We're
oldest
gonna have to
stunt
look
woman
this
ever.
up. Somebody
It's
out there
such a
audience, look it
niche
up.
thing.
I guess we'll just never, there's no way to ever find out in this day and age for us to ever find this out.
No.
We'll never be able to know.
Don't off the top of my head.
I like when Caitlin goes to visit the grandma. I like that sequence a lot.
Noted Vancouver actor Gabrielle Rose.
Yes, Gabrielle Rose. There's something about that sequence in the new movie. I think it's because when we were watching it last year, we're all just so excited to see a new Final Destination movie that, like, as soon as the magnifying glass goes over the rope, like, it's that scene's really exciting to me for some reason.
I agree.
I think 1,000%.
Yes.
Both Richard and Owen, I have 3 brothers in real life, and they both felt like my brothers, like, right away.
It was the best. Honestly, like, the whole familial aspect of the movie felt so natural to fall into.
Yeah.
With, like, the cousins, everybody, your parents. It was incredible, and we all loved each other so much. I think and I love most every cast that I work with, but there's something special about this cast.
That's the problem with horror, too. Well, Final Destination horror, I guess specifically, which is that everybody dies. There's no sequel. I'm like, we're all like, this is the one movie I want to have a sequel. Like,
Yeah, I know.
it would be so fun to get together and work together again. It was so much fun. It was so fun to watch the comments coming in being like, they spoiled the whole death.
Yeah,
Yes.
people were pissed.
Why would
I
they
can
spoil the
understand.
whole death? We're all just sitting back going like,
I mean, I think, yeah, it was in the script that we did. I thought when I read the script that was my death. I was like, it's too bad. It's like page 50? Like, no way.
hey, whoa, there's nothing wrong with dying on page 50. Dying on page 50 is you're in half the movie.
Yours was definitely
It was
60s.
60s. It was 60s,
It was
and I
60s.
know.
It was
The first thing I did when I got the script was Google it and search my Julia Campbell, search my name and see what page I died. So I don't know if I did I feel surprised when reading it? I think so, yeah. I remember reading the script and being like, oh my God. Like I told my boyfriend, I'm like, you are gonna love this movie. Like some scripts are just really there on the page.
And it was. I mean, the worry for me when I first read the script was how do they intend to actually do this and make it look good? Because it sounds great. But then in my head, I think about like a bunch of like CGI that probably needs to happen and all this. And I thought if that's not great, then this whole thing fails.
Yeah.
And then you showed up and they're like, no CGI. We're gonna and of course there's a little bit, but they did as much practically as they possibly could, and that's why the movie works, and that's why it looks so good. Shout out to Masters FX in Vancouver, some of the best in the business.
Is there behind-the-scenes footage of your when Richard dies in the MRI machine?
Yes, there is.
You guys probably already know this, but they had two stunt guys. Or
And
your top half
Colton is my bottom half.
is his bottom half. So Richard's top half was going into the MRI machine, and then a stunt guy's like, you know.
This is my stunt guy's ass.
And it was a stunt guy's ass and legs, and so when he's getting pulled into the MRI machine, they sewed Richard's shirt to the stunt guy's jeans. And so in picture, on the day, you're seeing a person get bent in
Like
half
literally,
backwards.
just it was like a Charlie Chaplin sort of like stunt pull off. Like it's an
Yeah.
old magic.
Yeah, and it's so cool. It just pays off tenfold, I think, practical effects do.
Yeah, I don't know if piercings were ever going to be like my thing. I once had one nipple piercing when I was 18.
Did you get the first one? You were like, not doing the second.
It was not nice. It was a dare.
Oh, I
from two
think
of
we're
my
good
friends.
with one.
Yeah, they were like, well, let's get your nipple pierced. We were, out drinking one night, and I was like, I'll do it now. I don't care. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really into any of that either. I was
You have a
joking,
nose piercing.
give me a tattoo to this fake, don't call me out on
Really?
no person.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to talk about it.
Sorry, I brought it up.
Yes, when I approached the contraption they had built to kill me, I thought they will be replacing me before they change any of this. So it's very
Yeah,
much like
fair.
you walk in, you're like, okay, that's how I'm dying.
Yeah, it's something that has to be thought through so fully.
Our deaths fed families for months.
Yeah.
It goes on and on and on. The
Yep.
prep and
God, everything. I remember I was there the day that we squished Anna's head.
the six cool I'm gonna do too.
Yeah, it's right? It's cool.
Do we look relaxed?
Yeah. We're cool, man. We're just normal people.
This is our stage now.
And it was in studio that we had, because obviously we're outside for so much of her death.
Yeah, join the chaos.
Doesn't that feel
Max.
good? Doesn't
Let's
that feel
go.
good?
Oh, yeah.
Let's have another round of
Oh,
applause.
let's get comfy.
There we go. And we squished your head, and I remember I was there because I just finished I think a hospital scene, because it was all in the studio. And I watched your head get squished, and I remember being like, that was so fucking sick.
It's also, I have this photo, or I have this video of, they've got my fake head, in there to crush it. And there's like a stunt guy, and he's got pliers like going in my mouth to fix like the tubing and I'm just like, oh my God.
It's very off-putting.
It's very weird to watch someone just reaching into your mouth with the...
I'm done.
Yeah, and also Richard's just quite touching. It's quite an emotional scene with you and Owen. And, I mean, they still managed to make it feel fun, but and mine's quite silly, like very slapstick.
I was just getting hit with the soccer ball
Dude,
in the
it's
back.
when they showed me the
Soft
clip,
focus, like
dude,
so
in
funny.
the background, when they showed me the previs, like the stunt previs, I was like, my death is a joke? Like, it's a bit? We're doing a bit? Like,
It's a fucking laugh, man.
so excited. I mean, it's all my stunt double. I have to give her props because turns out a garbage truck is pretty temperamental.
Yeah.
And so trying to, like, once she was in the garbage truck, they're like, kick your legs, but if she kicked her legs too much, it would stop and not put her in. I guess maybe it was a safety mechanism to not put a human into a trash.
That's
I don't
probably
know, but
exactly what it was.
every time she kicked her legs, they're like, too much kicking, kick less. And then she would kick less, and they'd be like, but kick a little more. Like, they had to keep going back and forth.
Didn't we have to come back like months later to do?
Oh, we had to shoot more?
We had to
the
shoot
truck
more
was
because
just...
the truck wouldn't work.
It was like working with an animal. It was
It wouldn't
really
pick up.
temperamental, yeah. And it would do it in rehearsal. It would be like, all right, let's go, okay, rolling,
As soon as it was rolling.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Did we?
It was like 1,500 in 2 days.
It was
5 minutes in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. And we just stayed sitting in the chairs and
If
they just
you
kept
know-
bringing press junkets. Acting in the movie was pleasurable. Also, the press junkets were fun too. People had a lot, like yourself, had a lot of good questions.
Press junkets are really fun when everyone loved the movie. Like,
Yes.
everyone came in and they were like, oh my God, we love this movie. Like, it's definitely hard. Weirdly, sitting in a chair is really hard, like, for so long. Like, and they had like a weird cover on them, so you had to like sit on the edge of the chair. Anyway, yeah, it's basically, I mean, my job's really hard. It's basically like coal mining or something. It's really a lot of work. But I think the press junkets are probably harder than shooting the movie.
Yeah, the shooting the movie is what we live to do.
Yeah. No, I actually live for press junkets.
Oh, you do, eh?
Oh yeah. Just
Yeah,
can't
you're
wait to get to
real.
another press junket. I
All
forgot
day.
about that, especially if we're in the background. That's right.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I feel bad for Caitlin and Teo, because Caitlin and Teo often had quite heavy emotional scenes to do, and the cousins are just in the background.
We're just there.
fucking yucking it up. Like, oh man. Yeah, the graveyard scene, we had a great time in the background. I was even having too much fun on Death Day. I remember, and we only had 3 arms. Things only said in horror. We only had 3 arms to get the take, so you pull the arm off and it breaks once, twice, third time.
3 times the lady.
And they were like, it needs to feel more intense, like it feels too casual. I was like, oh my God, I need to lock in. Like, I'm having a great time and I'm forgetting to really lock in on getting crushed to death. Like, I had to really switch it up. And then the third take, I had like a single tear roll down that they.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice touch.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. What's that good one going right now?
It'll take a minute.
Okay.
Let's see.
Don't you dare zoom in on my face.
Trust me, she's usually a lot faster than this.
Any scenes we had difficult getting through?
Because you had too much fun with it.
Too much fun.
I mean,
It's just anything with the
Jerry
whole
fucking
family.
Fenberry was kind of you and
were already
Amber.
dead.
No, but I was on set. I was at the monitor, and we were just dying every time. Is that what I wanted to play that?
That was one of my favorite scenes to shoot. I love that. You came and visited the day that he was there, right?
Yeah. I mean, I would say both. He's a man, myth, legend, but that feeling's not from him. It's from you.
It's from you.
It's from within. You're like, oh my God. I didn't shoot any scenes with him, but he had wrapped and I missed him, and he had gone back to his trailer and he was getting ready to go home, and I hadn't said hi. And I'm like, it's really nerve-wracking to go visit like a star at their trailer. Like, it's kind of a violation of privacy, like you don't go knock on doors. And I was just like, I'm gonna go do it. Like, I'm gonna go do it. And so I went, and his door was open, and I just knocked and introduced myself. And he was so just warm and asking me about me, you know what I mean? Which is like,
That's all he ever did.
I know, when you look back on it, you're like, what? How was I talking about myself? But yeah, he was just amazing.
The nicest man you could ever possibly hope for him to be. It's so like you said, only ever asked about you. I remember he asked me like 5 different times that day. It was like, are you having fun? I can't do a good time. He's like, are you having fun? And I was like, I'm having a great time, Mr. Todd. And he was like, good. And he was just so fucking nice. It's such a tragedy to lose him. And we knew on set he obviously wasn't doing great. But you never would have been able to tell it from the smile on his face and the warmth that he had. But that's the thing about someone like that, and the history and the myth of a man like that, is he's not gone. Not really. We can call on him right now. Say it with me 3 times. Candyman. Say hi to Tony tonight for me in your bathroom.
It feels ludicrous. You know what I mean? It feels
I was gonna say it's too weird to even think.
It feels insane that would be a part of my life. You know what I mean? That would be like a marker on my career, my life. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. When was the first one? 2000?
2000.
Okay, yeah, it was mine.
Yep. So
I wasn't even born yet.
Oh yeah, I'm waiting for a lot of calls. A lot of calls I'm waiting for. I mean, for me, the first horror movie I ever really watched was Scream. And Scream would have been, and I also think I'm well fit for that universe. But I've never even gotten a call. Never even auditioned.
I feel like if they rebooted like The Ring, I would love to play that role.
Like the ghost or the lead.
The thing about the ghost is I'm just not into being in special effects makeup for that long.
Yeah, I know, that's a lot.
Although maybe it's just a wig. No, I meant the Naomi Watts character. Something like that would be really cool.
I pitched mine to the producers when we were shooting Bloodlines.
was it a Mad Magicians conference?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
It's at a magicians conference is the inciting incident, and it's nothing but magicians and their assistants at the thing. So they avoid it, and all of them live. And then death comes after magicians, but the whole thing is that death just can't get the better of them. Like, they're like smoke bombing their way out, or like one of them gets wrapped up in a chain and falls into water, and then all of a sudden they spit a key out and then unlock the chains. Someone gets cut in half, and then their assistant comes out and rolls it together, and they put them back together like getting sawed in half. And it's only the assistants that die. Yeah, so I gave that, and it's like death just getting frustrated, and I gave that to Craig and Sheila, and Craig was like, that might be good for like one death, and the next one, I said, if it's not all, it's none, and I will sue you.
I'm not following that. Magicians Conference is my answer too.
There it is.
Did you know you were raising awareness about MRI safety?
I like to give back to the community. And you know what? The funny thing is, I had my first MRI 2 weeks ago. And I was like, oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah, you know how many people are going to die of preventable illnesses because they refuse to get an MRI? How about that take?
I
Not saving
went
lives anymore!
on so many, you know that you were there on multiple ones of our press junket, that I was like, when someone brought that up, I just want to say, the people in medicine are very smart and very safe. If you need to get an MRI, please do not let our movie stop you from going to get the help that you probably need. And please don't let it stop you. A magician.
I know, it really could be anything.
It really literally could. I would like to find something so mundane to scare.
I know, it's that one when is it the first one where the guy slips in the shower and Hank gets hung by a wire?
Yeah.
That was like, that is just so, like, ruining taking a shower is so crazy.
Yeah.
And I just did a couple episodes of 911 Nashville last year, which is it's very Final Destination-esque, and a kid gets trapped in a washing machine in it. And I'm like, is there been a Final Destination washing machine related death?
That could be good. My skull tattoo is it's the poster for which one? The fifth one? Yeah, so they had the wheelchair break through my torso in exactly the places that is through the skull on the fifth poster.
That's it. I didn't know
That. And then and they knew that going into that thing, like Erik has to have a skull tattoo, and we're gonna kill him in the exact same way as the poster, which I thought was so cool.
Yeah, there's like a billion.
And that's for free.
The first thing I thought it was Heist Pale Ale. I just love that they have a fake beer company that exists in every single
We should have kept a can.
of Heist.
How did we not think about keeping
I
a
don't
can?
know. Someone asked me today if I kept anything from set, and I was like, I had this hat and I lost it.
You did?
I don't know where it went. I think I was robbed.
I kept the Show Me Your Kitties mug that lives in my house.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, they gave it to me on that day, after we wrapped that scene that day, and they're like, Richard, I didn't see it, just leave.
Right.
The oil
As
sweetness.
soon as you said this, as soon as you asked this, I was like, the degloving, we call it. The degloving, yeah.
Yeah, I agree, that's my
The
answer.
degloving, when her ring gets caught on the nails at the very end, and you watch her,
Peel
skin
her
get
skin
peeled off
off.
her finger. Yeah, Craig was like, have you seen the degloving?
I was there when they shot that too.
He was so excited. He's like, it's called degloving. We're degloving her today.
I never knew what it was called. I
didn't
never
either.
knew that it was even possible.
Nor I, no. And that's the beauty of Final Destination.
You find out what's possible.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, I'm not going anywhere with a ring now. No shot. I've thought about this from the other end a lot, about like if someone came to me and started telling me about a vision, what would I do if I had a vision? Okay, the thing is, my boyfriend actually, he's like, if you see a ghost, you have to tell me. Like if you think that this house is haunted, you have to tell me. Like he's really way more into it than I. So I think he would believe me instantly. Like if I think I was like, I saw a vision, you're gonna die, and this is how it's gonna happen, he would be like, what are we gonna do? I don't think I'd have uphill battle with him.
I think I would have it happen and say, baby, I'm gonna go get a soda pop. You want anything? And I'm out. Yeah. It's all about keeping it hush hush.
Yeah, it's interesting because it is the sort of like, if you trying to stop it is what makes it happen.
Yeah, I'm just gonna make sure I'm okay.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? Lock yourself in a cabin in the woods for years?
Maybe.
Stay there your whole life.
Death comes
Well,
first.
Good question.
My
I love that
streaming
name, Aaron.
services.
That's awesome.
Good question.
Oh, the Death Book. Yes, the Death Book's huge. Yeah.
Nana's Death Book.
They had the props person. I'm gonna blank on the name of the person who's like,
Ringo?
I can't remember who, but when we were doing press, Sheila was like, "Oh yeah, that's their Death Book. They are going through the Death Book. They created this thing."
They can keep it.
But that would be amazing to sell. Yeah, because we have a Necronomicon at our house. Yeah.
So do I.
Yeah. Shut up.
Love Evil Dead.
Love Necronomicon.
Love
human
Necronomicon.
skin. That would be a great prop.
That would be really smart.
Yeah.
And they put so much work into that. You could just flip through it, and it wasn't nonsense. Like, it was
It was
filled
real.
out.
I've always said if I worked a different job in the industry, I would want to do props. Make fake labels and stuff, draw a little.
You would be great at that.
Thank you. You know what? Thank you.
You would be really good at that.
Favorite.
You know mine.
It's a good question. I've changed mine up a lot. What's your favorite?
The getting
pool
your
train?
attention, yeah, that's so good.
Oh my god.
Mine's simple. Mine's from the second one, and it's Timmy getting squished by a pane of glass. That is so. And probably my favorite one in ours was the penny kid getting crushed by a piano. There's something about just little kids
They
getting
call them bus
absolutely
hits.
rocked.
In the lore of Final Destination,
Oh,
they call them a
so
bus hit. It was
funny.
like sudden death like that.
I love that,
Yeah.
Timmy. Thank you to whoever gave me the little Timmy keychain here. No, someone gave me a little Timmy keychain today. It was awesome.
I'm gonna go bus hit. I'm gonna go original, first one, stepping off the curb, hit by the bus. So surprising and fun.
All right, next
Pool
up.
train, man, sicko.
Great question. That's really good.
Man, okay, there's like favorite and then there's like most memorable. I don't know. Yeah, because I don't know if it's my favorite, but when that little girl gets her head knocked off in Hereditary,
Oh yeah.
that is just like,
It's-
it's your worst nightmare.
Sickening
Yeah,
to the pit of your
it's your
stomach. When it
worst.
happened, I was just like,
Oh, it's so
ew. I think it's something, and if you're here, are you here tomorrow? Please come by my table, and I'm going to spend the night thinking about it because there's so many things I have to think through to get the answer. Yeah, there's going to be something. It'll be there. So yeah, I gotta go through my letterbox and be like, that one. I should be Ghostface. Like, I would be a great Ghostface. The thing would be, I think I'd be a little too obvious. They'd be like, of course it's the guy that looks
You
like
could
that.
you could switch. You could make it so obvious that it's like it can't be him.
Yeah, they're like, oh, the guy with the
You're like,
dusty
oh.
mustache? No way.
Yeah,
On a Lori be Ghostface.
man.
You would be a great Ghostface because no one would see it coming.
Oh yeah.
Except for me, I would have pegged you from the beginning.
I have only once ever survived a movie I've been in, so I don't think. If you see me in a movie, odds are I'm
That's the
going
same with me. I always die too, but I mean, like every movie you've been in?
There's one that I survived.
Did you die in that? No, I didn't think you.
No, it's a happy ending. I don't know, but is it too tacky to say it would have to be the phone, right? It would have to be something coming through the phone. It would have to be. I don't know. I'm gonna Richard this.
We
Come
love
by the
that.
booth tomorrow.
Putting it on
I
layaway.
go to sleep. I think about this. Films
No.
that you wanna. Okay.
You don't want to come to a Final Destination movie and
Right.
live.
Yeah,
that is a waste of your and my time.
Yeah, you do want a cool death for sure. That's the dream. Although after I heard that they rewrote the script to keep the mom alive a little longer, I was like,
Could have got me a lot longer.
I didn't know they were rewriting the script to keep people alive longer.
Yeah.
I could have made it to page 90.
I mean,
Oh my
Kimberly did survive, didn't
Well, yeah, she did.
she? Yeah.
She did.
There's like a potential.
The way you said that was like you know something we don't. Is there a Final Destination 2.5?
Maybe. Why? That'd be interesting. A period piece.
Oh, Magician's Conference. Wow, actually.
Magician's
Wasn't that a Final Destination? Magician's Conference.
There's a thought. I never heard that conspiracy.
Oh,
Is it just a vision? The whole movie?
The whole thing?
no. The train scene at the end.
Oh, that Caitlin and Teo survive.
Granddaughter.
What? I got goosebumps. I'm like, what?
Well, that's interesting. Does that mean but we still don't come back?
No.
Have fun, Caitlin and Teo on the next one.
But I love that is an interpretation out there. I hadn't heard that.
I have not heard that from the people that made the movies. Maybe. Would you like it to be a vision?
Yeah.
That's honestly fair.
I'm gonna rewatch it with this in mind now.
That'll be Final Destination 6.5.
Oh God, I'm gonna watch my own movie tonight.
My bad.
I'm not losing any sleep because even in that situation, I'm still dying.
Oh, yeah. You guys are really making me think about franchises today.
Like,
I'm not a franchise girl, I don't think.
You not?
No.
I got one for you.
Hit me.
The Thin Man franchise from the 1930s. William Powell, Myrna Loy. That's gonna be my answer. It's not a horror franchise, but I would watch all 7 of them back to back to back.
I would watch Christmas movies all day.
Yeah, that's fair.
That would take you all day.
Can you
Not
count
yet.
2 movies as a
could count
franchise? Sundays.
And I definitely won't try to leave early because I forgot it's happening.
She would have been gone if I didn't catch her.
I would never leave you up here alone, bro.
I could handle it.
I am the Abbott to your Costello, my friend.
It's true.
There's no
Good
chance.
combo. 3 of them are mine. I mean, we know he did the 1. It's interesting font that I chose
For the dad.
for my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when you read an old-timey book and the first letter is a giant fancy letter.
Exactly was the font.
Yeah.
I
You'd
think
be dead up here without me.
they had a bunch of them. I would be. They had a bunch of them, and we kind of all picked them together. It really wasn't me doing a lot of picking. It was makeup doing it and directors and everything. They just knew they had to have the skull, and then they're like, what about the dragon across the chest? I was like, sure.
Get in there.
Hell yeah. My favorite one of that was a little rudimentary house key that just says home on it. That was my favorite one. I almost got it in honor of the movie. I nearly did. I still might.
Do it here, right now.
Oh, there is really?
Yeah, there's like 8 of them over there.
Wow,
Shouldn't have
called
said
your bluff
what?
right away. I've been seeing this mask everywhere. What is this?
Ghostface.
And it's from a movie or something?
Scream.
Oh. Yeah, I assume t-shirts and everything all over.
It's a bit of a scary / self-referential comedy.
I'm just joshing.
Are you just judging?
I'm just joshing.
I like it.
Come on. I've seen one screen.
Which
All-
death do you
all
think
of
you
them.
could survive?
I'd slide it. I'm moving, I'm shaking. They can't get me. Yeah. Not these days, actually. Jogging's actually impossible for me currently.
You know, I'm a really skilled magician.
See, this is what I'm saying. It's a really good idea. Thank you for understanding.
Plane crash, absolutely. I would just fly right out, yeah. I carry a parachute with me everywhere I go. There's no you're not getting me in a plane crash. Probably Rhea just gets. You could probably dodge that.
I'd move. I'd be fine. Thank you. I'm currently undefeated against death in my life.
I was currently undefeated.
I am currently.
Yeah, yes. You are.
But fun and, suitable for the convention we're at.
If I die, I'll come here right after.
There you go.
No, it's a really good question. Which catastrophe do you want to die in?
That was a
Dude.
great
You
question.
did.
Matt.
I think it's the bridge.
I
think it's the bridge. Yeah.
Because that's a bridge. That bridge is a real bridge in Vancouver where I live. So
I think
I
best
cross
case
that thing
scenario,
all the time.
You get hit by a cinder block on the way down, knocked out, and you just drown in the river. Yeah. Yeah, easy. It's better than, let's look at all the other options. A plane goes down. No. What was the second one you said? The highway, a real life terror, happens every day every time you get a car. Roller coaster, absolutely not. Speedway, hit by a tire to the head. No
That tire
thanks.
was
Yeah,
good.
it's gotta
Although
be-
you wouldn't, there was no pain there. You got tire to
It's
the
the
head.
Brit. Well, we don't know.
Their head was
Might
a
not
big
knock it
miss.
clean off.
Yeah. All right. I see your point.
Thanks, Adam. More lost sleep. Oh my God, I've had a blast. Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone, for being so kind and so thoughtful and for loving a movie so hard to make. You know, it's a labor of love, and so when people come up and appreciate a film you worked on, it's like one of the best feelings in the world. So thanks for being here.
I echo that sentiment fully.
And Magicians Convention.
Let's get it. Thank you so much. It's amazing to be here.
If you like the video, please like and subscribe.